you might think that this, you know, this issue isn't really bugging Republicans right now. They're fine. They trust Trump and they trust the Trump brand and they know it's going to be all right and they're not worried about Barnett's insurgent campaign. They're not concerned with that at all. So why in the world, you're not going to pull out the big dogs to go after this. Oh shit, look. It's Sean Hannity in a clip entitled Hannity, Barnett Can't Win in Pennsylvania. Yeah, this looks like a panic attack to me. And I love it.
First tonight, an important update on Republican Pennsylvania Senate candidate Kathy Barnett.
Yeah, if that is her real name.
Now, in the last week, out of nowhere, she surged into second place in the polls.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like Trump's active endorsement actually brought Oz down instead of the other way around. Like he was already ahead, and then Trump did the rally, and then all of a sudden she's...
Pennsylvania's very crowded Republican Senate primary.
Yeah. But, Trump has... it's a huge drop-off. Trump's got like 80-20. 80% go for Oz. 20% scattered amongst a bunch of assholes.
Currently, the candidate I endorsed and President Trump endorsed, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Oh, all right. He got your endorsement, Sean, but Greg Kelly's holding out because he doesn't want to, he's still got some time and he's considering. Maybe he's just above endorsements.
Is holding on to the #1 spot. But
by 1 point.
It's easy to see why Kathy Barnett is picking up steam and connecting with voters. We've had her on this program in the past. I've had her on my radio show.
So it's your fault.
She's a very impressive person, an incredible life story.
If it's even real.
But because she was polling so low, just in
thanks, Tina.
The last week or so, unfortunately, Kathy Barnett has not gone any kind of rigorous vetting.
Asshole, you had her on your show and your radio show and you didn't vet her as a candidate?
Is now proving to be a massive problem in this race.
If only there were journalists or TV personalities who had news shows in the world whose job it is to interview these people, they might have asked them some of the questions that, oh, shit.
In 2020, she was not a serious candidate in her congressional race. She lost to a pretty weak Democrat by 19 points. And now we are...
Well, apparently not. The woman won 60-40.
Covering many troubling comments and tweets that would very likely cause her to lose badly in a general election.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is a very important...
As bad as being friends with Oprah? I don't know. It's a toss.
State. There are so many questions she has never answered and many tweets that likely render her unelectable in Pennsylvania. Now, this is a must-hold Senate seat if Republicans...
It is a must-hold Senate seat. It's a must-hold. That's a certain type of gopher. It's the state certain type of gopher of Pennsylvania, a must-hold.
Have any chance of taking over the U.S. Senate in the midterms.
Right, and they're fucking it up.
This is a tipping point, inflection moment for this country. Every one of these races matter.
Uh-huh.
Let me be clear. Just because I and many others find her unelectable doesn't mean I want Kathy Barnett canceled. That's what the left does.
I don't want her canceled. I just want her drummed out of the Republican primary so that she has no chance of taking out the candidate that I perfunctorily signed up to support because Trump was doing it and I thought it was an easy shoe-in until other people actually started giving a shit.
These problematic comments and tweets are fairly recent, meaning it wasn't done when she was in her 20s or 30s.
Yeah, you guys are normally so forgiving about that.
These are controversial, extremely controversial comments said over and over and over again. So I've got to conclude these are her heartfelt beliefs. Republican voters in Pennsylvania and around the country.
I don't know. Please bring on Marjorie Taylor Greene and ask her about these comments. Please bring on Marjorie Taylor Greene and ask her about. Please bring on Marjorie Taylor Greene and ask her about these comments. Oh my God.
Need to know the cold hard truth. Let me put it very simply here.
In deference to his viewers.
I don't see any scenario where Kathy Barnett can win a general election in Pennsylvania. Let me get specific why.
Let's do it.
First, in recent years, she engaged repeatedly in some pretty disturbing, very controversial rhetoric surrounding gays and lesbians and Muslims, and she makes no distinction, for example.
I thought you were going to give reasons why she wouldn't win in the primary.
Between Islam and radical Islam, wants to actually cancel a whole religion. On Twitter, she asked her followers to pray for her because, quote, she was about to board the plane to California and, quote, there was a homosexual female on the flight. In 2015, she tweeted, quote, Obama did what he does best, shoving his homosexual agenda down everyone's throats.
Again, I don't know why they don't think this woman's a winner for their side.
And paraded a slew of, quote, gay people before the Pope, whatever that means. She also heavily insinuated
#Pope.
Obama was a horrible gay Muslim. Obama is horrible on all measures. He loves all things that are homosexual and supports all things that are Muslim.
Right. Yeah. And you can't be horrible and support homosexuality and support Islam unless you're horrible and gay and Muslim.
Also on Twitter, Barnett seemingly called for Islam to be banned in the United States. That, in other words, would eliminate the First Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. She also posted this disturbing image politicizing 9/11, showing an apparent terrorist standing over the rubble on Ground Zero holding a sign that reads, "Vote Democratic. Now we need your help to kill."
No, she said Democrat. She used the same word you use for Democrats. We need your help to kill you.
There's certainly a better way, perhaps, of expressing a view that...
Yeah, this is him agreeing with the fucking post, but knowing he can't.
Democrats might be weak.
Look, I know, I liked it too. Stop. No, don't go look for it and repost it, motherfucker.
National security, don't you think? And meanwhile, she also...
You think?
Compared Islam to Nazism, told her followers that it was her right to discriminate against Muslims, and during a lengthy video posted to her YouTube page, she...
Oh my God. Has MTG seen this video post?
Referred to all of Islam as depraved and evil. Take a look for yourself.
There are a lot of truisms I can talk about in regards to Islam. I spent a number of years studying it and reading the Quran, talking to Muslims, just to get an understanding, because it is the mindset of a Muslim is very different from the mindset of Americans.
By the way, watch there's, hold on, I'm in the way, shit. Can I show you guys something? Watch, let me get out of the way. Pardon me, see that lady right there? Give me a second. Whew. Boink, 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 boink. Hi. So this lady right here, watch her real quick. When she says this, when she starts saying the mindset of a Muslim.
The mindset of a Muslim is very different from the mindset of Americans. And that's the reason why we cannot fully understand the level, the depth of the depravity, the depth of the evil, because it's just not a part of the American fabric for the most part.
Look,
yeah, she has a white lady in the corner. Hold on, I'm getting away from Sean. It's gross. Get away! Boink, 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 boink. Beep. Broop. That's exactly why she's surging, because that white lady, the blonde lady, who's a conservative, was like, you fucking ain't right. Oh, sorry.
Entitled to her opinions. I believe in freedom of speech, but trashing an entire religion.
That's my job.
I don't think that's going to get anybody elected to any office, any place, anywhere. And
that's different than saying it's wrong. That's very different, Sean, than saying it's wrong.
Undoubtedly hurt her in a statewide election. Perhaps this is the reason why she lost so badly in 2020. Now, we on the show, we're very outspoken. We condemn radical Islamists. We don't attack good people of varying faiths, and there are
varying
people in every faith. I was raised Catholic, but I'm very critical of the Catholic Church because of the corruption that took place.
Corruption, that's the word for it.
I don't know where she...
I think you meant buggery.
...stands on Islam now, but so far she has not addressed any of these comments. Nobody's even asked her.
What? Has anybody even interviewed this woman? Has anybody had this woman on television to even, oh shit, right.
However, she apparently changed her opinion about Barack Obama. Take a look at this.
Bitter clingers. Remember when Barack Obama called us bitter? Saying in Pennsylvania we cling to guns or religion or dislike people who aren't like us. Remember how that made you feel? One candidate for Senate doesn't care. In fact, Kathy Barnett wants to build a statue of Barack Obama right next to the one of Abraham Lincoln on Capitol Hill in Washington. Kathy Barnett, woke Republican, out of
woke Republican. Yeah, nothing's more woke than I'm not really up to date on the definition of woke by its adherents or its opponents. However, I'm not sure it involves tweeting out, "Dear God, pray for us, everyone. There's a homosexual woman on this plane."
with Pennsylvania.
Like she's some sort of weird homophobic William Shatner in a Twilight Zone episode.
I don't know a single conservative, not one. I don't know a single Republican, not one, that would ever want to put a statue of Barack Obama next to Abraham Lincoln. That doesn't make any sense. Why would any...
Makes a lot of sense. It makes a huge amount of sense. As a matter of fact, it would end that, in some people's minds, the arguments you guys made about where we were and how far we've come. That's exactly like, and by the way, she didn't want to do it because she suddenly, found Jesus on this matter and has created a desire to respect him. She wants him right there so that Lincoln freed the slaves and a black man was president. Now everybody shut up about race and let's get on with it, which is a Republican talking point, and it's a way of looking at it. Normally, this is something that these assholes would bandy about with. She just decided she wanted to make it emblematic. That was just kind of a splashy statement. Oh. Bah, 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 bah. What's that? There you go.
Single conservative, not one. I don't know a single Republican, not one, that would ever want to put a statue of Barack Obama next to Abraham Lincoln. That doesn't make any sense. Why would any Republican or conservative...
Not a single one. That's weird. You'd think there'd at least be one who'd go, yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. First black president, right next to Abraham Lincoln. We're a great country.
Support that position. Only she can answer for herself. Now, of course, Barnett also changed her mind about Donald Trump. She ultimately did get behind him in the 2016 election, but before she did, Barnett once even made fun of yours. Can you imagine that? Why are you attacking me? I am being right about Donald Trump and all those guys like Glenn Beck.
You were right about him? Did Sean Hannity predict he'd be a one-termer with no real accomplishments? I got to go back and watch that show.
Shapiro, honestly, in fairness to them, they didn't know Donald Trump the way I did, and they all came.
Well, you and Michael, you shared a lawyer to hide your picadillos.
Around eventually, like Kathy did. Look, opinions can change, people evolve. That's okay. But there are so many questions, so many.
Yeah, what are you doing? Look how this. I mean, this is a full court press. Like the Trump campaign is making fucking phone calls. You better attack this woman.
Controversial statements, so many controversial tweets that Barnett is either unable or.
By the way, this is a sign that the Trump brand fucking sucks. Because if it was so reliable, he would not have to be calling fucking their buddies at Fox and Newsmax and everywhere else and Bannon and getting them to run ads against her, basically, which is what this is. This is free campaign ads for Mehmet Oz.
Willing to answer, like why she initially was slated to speak at a QAnon conspiracy theory event.
And then she got bumped by MTG.
Is she backed by the shady, swampy? I mean, I am done with the Club for Growth. They're giving...
Yeah, those guys, the Republican people.
...are now millions of dollars, and I suspect that's because they want the Trump-endorsed candidate to lose,
or they think they want somebody more MAGA and they don't trust Oz because they think he's a snake oil salesman.
Because they now need to answer these questions, why they're supporting
why have you never vetted the Club for Growth, Sean?
Barnett with all these millions of dollars and all these extreme statements and positions? Club for Growth needs to come on the show and answer those questions. And what about
all of them?
All of the holes in her resume. She said she worked for 2 major financial firms, but her campaign won't tell us where. She claims that she once served as an adjunct professor.
She claimed that she's going to show her taxes like 2 weeks from now. She claims she has this great health care plan. She claims she's got this great infrastructure plan that
of corporate finance. We can't find any evidence of that.
Thank you, Aaron.
She also claims to be an Army vet, but when the Washington Examiner reached out for proof, her campaign refused to provide any documentation. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Why not answer? And when the Free Beacon called for a comment on this issue, well, her campaign manager hung up on them. Today, like yesterday, we also reached out to her campaign on...
Oh, the Washington Free Beacon. Those are the guys that paid for the Steele dossier before they refused to print it because they decided to back Trump.
Variety of issues, but they refused to answer any of our questions. When we did, somebody on my staff got a hold of her yesterday and asked about these tweets. She basically said she had no memory of these tweets at all whatsoever.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
Is she claiming that somebody hacked her Twitter account? Anyway, Kathy Barnett is running.
That's a Joy Reid black lady reference.
For the U.S. Senate in what has to be described as a purple state. Not an easy win for a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Wop, 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 wop.
The general election, the media mob, the Democratic Party, they will rip her apart over all.
Yes, and they have zero ammunition against Oz.
These issues, all of these comments, all of these tweets. If she is unable to clear up these issues right now, before...
She's looking very like got a Candace Owens do. She knows what she's doing.
Primary, it's my prediction, and I don't think it's a tough one to make. She will be utterly destroyed in a general election like she was in 2020. President Trump weighed in today. Kathy Barnett will never be able to win the general election against the radical left Democrats. She has many things in her past which have not been properly explained or vetted. Hey,
oh, that's so weird. It's almost as if you guys just built your segments off of his statement like they were marching orders.
Hannity.
Look at that, and he bails out right then. Fucking hell.